If you could meet the version of yourself 1 year from today, the version who's already achieved the goals you're working toward, what do you think that they would tell you? Would they tell you to worry less, to stop waiting, to trust yourself more? Or would they simply smile because they already know everything is going to work out? Most people spend their lives trying to change their behaviors. They promise themselves they'll exercise more, eat healthier, stop procrastinating, be more confident, set better boundaries, save more money, take better care of themselves, and other things. And while those are all wonderful goals, there's one problem. Behavior is often the result of identity. In other words, who you believe you are determines what you consistently do. And that's exactly what we are here to discuss in today's Mindful Monday. Now, if it's your first time joining us, feel free to type in the comments where you're coming from, any questions or comments you have, of course, as well as any topics you would like to hear more about in the future. We love to take suggestions too. Now, also, you want to make sure that you stay until the very end of this video to find out how you can receive some free gifts, including a hypnotic audio I created on releasing limiting beliefs and more. All right, now back to our topic for today. Think about it this way. Someone who identifies as a runner doesn't have to convince themselves to go for a run. They don't have to convince themselves to go for a run every day. It's simply what runners do, right? And someone who identifies as a healthy eater, they naturally make healthier choices. They naturally make healthier food choices because that's consistent with who they believe that they are, right? Now, someone who sees themselves as, shall we say, organized, they naturally create systems for themselves. Their behaviors flow from their identity. Now, contrast that with someone who constantly says something like, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be confident. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to stop procrastinating. The very word trying keeps the identity attached to the old version of themselves. In neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, we understand that your identity sits at one of the highest levels of change. Now, when identity shifts, everything beneath it begins shifting too. Your habits, your decisions, your emotions, your expectations, even what your brain notices throughout the day. That's why hypnosis can be so very powerful. Now, hypnosis is not about pretending to be someone that you're not. It's about reconnecting with the qualities that already exist within you. Confidence is not something that you can purchase. And peace is not something that you can earn. Resilience isn't something reserved for other people. They're all capacities that are already wired into the human nervous system. Sometimes they simply become buried beneath fear, conditioning, and self-doubt. Imagine planting an acorn. Inside that tiny acorn already exists the blueprint for a mighty oak tree. And the tree doesn't have to become something different. It simply has to grow into what it was designed to become. Now, the same is true for you. Your potential is not something that you create. It's something that you uncover. Unfortunately, many of us become attached to stories that no longer fit. Maybe you were shy in elementary school, and now you call yourself the shy one. Or maybe you struggled with math when you were younger, and now you tell yourself, I'm just not smart. Perhaps a relationship ended painfully, and now you believe that you're difficult to love. The experience is over, but the identity remains. An identity has a remarkable way of recreating itself. If you believe that you're unlucky, you'll interpret net neutral events as proof of this. And if you believe that you're confident, you're going to begin noticing evidence that supports your confidence. Neither identity changes the reality. It does, however, change your perception. Your subconscious mind is constantly asking one question: who am I? And then it works tirelessly to keep your behaviors aligned with this answer. That's why lasting change begins with changing that answer. One of my favorite neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, techniques is called future pacing. Future pacing allows your subconscious to mentally rehearse success before it physically happens. Olympic athletes use mental rehearsal. Professional musicians use visualization before performances. Surgeons mentally walk through procedures. Pilots rehearse for emergencies. Why? Because the brain responds powerfully to vivid imagination. In fact, research has shown that mentally rehearsing an action activates many of the same neural pathways as physically performing it. Your subconscious does not draw as sharp of a distinction between vividly imagined experiences and real ones as your conscious mind does. And that's an incredible thing to take advantage of, because it means that you can begin installing confidence before the situation ever arrives. You can begin becoming calmer before a stressful event. You can begin seeing yourself succeed long before success becomes visible. So today we're going to use that natural ability, and we'll use it to allow the subconscious mind to meet a future version of yourself who has already integrated the qualities that you are developing right now. And not because we're predicting the future, but because we're giving your subconscious a compelling blueprint to work with, to move towards, right? So as author and speaker Dr. Benjamin Hardy often says, your future self can become a guide for your present decisions. Now, when you regularly ask, what would my future self choose? You begin making decisions that align with the person you're becoming rather than the habits that you're outgrowing. Nice, right? Now, before we begin our demo, remember this, your future self isn't someone completely different. Not at all. It's simply you without the unnecessary fear, without the outdated stories, and without those limiting beliefs. That version of you already exists as possibility. Today, we're simply making that possibility feel familiar. So, as we move into the demo, if you're somewhere safe to do so and where you won't be interrupted, then go ahead and settle yourself into a comfortable position. You can take a slow, deep breath in and exhale it gently out, allowing your eyes to close down, and allow the muscles around your eyes to soften, relaxing the jaw and letting your shoulders drop. That's right. Notice your breathing becoming slower, smoother, easier with every breath. You may already begin feeling yourself becoming more open, more receptive, and more curious about meeting the extraordinary person you are becoming. Continue allowing your breathing to settle into its own natural rhythm. There's nothing you need to force, nothing you need to figure out. There's just this moment and this breath. And as your body continues to relax, imagine that every exhale gently quiets the outside world, while every inhale helps you connect more deeply with your own inner wisdom. That's right. Good. Now, in your imagination, picture yourself standing on a beautiful path. And I don't know, it might be a forest trail, or it could be a quiet beach, or perhaps a mountain path, or somewhere else that feels completely safe and right to you. Notice the colors here, the sounds, the temperature of the air on your skin. Perhaps you hear birds in the distance or waves gently rolling onto the shore. Maybe there's a soft breeze brushing against your skin. Everything here feels peaceful, grounding, comfortable. And as you begin walking, notice that each step forward represents 1 month of your life. Your first step, 1 month from today. Take a moment to notice what has already changed. Perhaps you're speaking more kindly to yourself, keeping small promises, making healthier decisions, celebrating progress instead of demanding perfection. That's right. And take another step, 2 months. You notice you're recovering from setbacks more quickly, more easily. Things that once overwhelmed you no longer carry the same emotional weight. Your nervous system feels calmer. You trust yourself more. And step again, 3 months. You're saying yes to opportunities you once avoided, and you're saying no to things that drain your energy. You're beginning to recognize your own worth and that it isn't determined by other people's opinions. And another step, 4 months. Notice your posture. How are you standing? How are you breathing? How are you speaking? Notice what expression is on your face. Your subconscious notices every detail. Another step, 5 months. Perhaps you've accomplished something that once seemed impossible. Not because you suddenly became someone different, but because you consistently became more yourself. That's right. And another step, 6 months. And you pause for a moment, look behind you, and notice how far you've already come. You see the old worries becoming smaller and farther away in the distance. The old version of you deserves compassion, not criticism. That version did the best they could with what they knew at the time. Silently thank them, because without them, you wouldn't be here now. That's right. And continue walking. 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. With every step, your confidence grows quietly. Not arrogance, not perfection, just a deep inner knowing that whatever comes your way, you have the resources to handle it. Notice that challenges still appear. Life has not become perfect, but you've become more resilient. You respond instead of react. You breathe before speaking. You trust yourself. Now, you arrive at a beautiful doorway, and this doorway represents 1 year from today. Place your hand gently on the handle. Take 1 slow breath in. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, open the door. As you step through, there you are, the future version of you. Notice everything. The way they stand, the way they smile, the calmness in their eyes, the confidence in their posture, their energy, their peace. This version of you doesn't seem rushed. This version of you doesn't seem overwhelmed. They simply appear deeply grounded. That's right. And as they walk toward you, notice the warmth in their smile, because they recognize you immediately. They remember exactly where you are today. They remember each and every doubt, every fear, every late night wondering if things would ever change. And with complete compassion, they gently embrace you. Feel that embrace. Safe, supportive, and familiar, as though you're finally coming home to yourself. Now imagine sitting together somewhere beautiful, perhaps beneath a large tree, or on a quiet bench overlooking the ocean, maybe beside a peaceful lake, whatever's right for you. And your future self begins sharing wisdom with you. Listen very carefully. They may say things like, stop waiting until you feel ready. Perhaps it's trust yourself more. It could be everything you needed was already within you. Or keep taking 1 small step every day. Or you are far more capable than you realize. Or perhaps your subconscious offers words uniquely meant for you. Allow these words to settle deeply into your mind. That's right. Now ask your future self 3 questions. What should I stop worrying about? Pause and listen here. That's right. Next question, what should I start doing today? Pause and notice whatever comes. Good. And final one, what do you most want me to remember? Take your time. Trust the first impressions that arise. Your subconscious often communicates through feelings, images, words, or simply a quiet sense of knowing. There's no rights or wrongs. That's right. Now your future self reaches into a pocket and hands you a small gift. It might be an object, a symbol, color, a word, something else. Whatever appears is exactly what your subconscious wants you to carry forward into your life. So take a moment and receive it with gratitude. That's right. As you hold it, notice how it begins glowing. And this light spreads into your hands, your arms, up into your chest, and your entire body. And this light represents confidence, wisdom, resilience, self-trust, compassion, purpose, everything you've been developing already exists within you. Your future self smiles and then says, whenever you doubt yourself, remember this moment. I'm not a different person. I'm simply you after choosing yourself over fear again and again. And allow these words to sink deeply into your subconscious. Now imagine stepping toward your future self. And as you do, the two of you begin merging into one. Every lesson, every success, every ounce of courage, every healthy habit, every confident decision, every peaceful breath becomes available to you right now. Not someday, today. Because every future begins in the present moment. That's right. Take a long, slow breath in. Feel that future version of you settling comfortably within your heart. And notice how natural it feels. Almost as though you've been this person all along. Simply waiting to remember. That's right. And silently repeat these affirmations to yourself. I choose my future over my fears. Every small action creates a lasting change. I trust the person I am becoming. I make decisions that my future self will thank me for. My future begins with the choices I make today. That's right. Now allow these words to echo quietly throughout your mind, knowing that every time you revisit this visualization, your subconscious strengthens these pathways. Confidence becomes more familiar, peace becomes more natural, growth becomes more effortless. And now slowly begin bringing your awareness back to your breathing. Maybe noticing the surface beneath you, wiggling fingers and toes. Take another refreshing breath in, exhale it out with a sigh, feeling energized, optimistic, and hopeful, knowing you can carry your future self with you wherever you go. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, open your eyes, feeling calm, focused, and inspired, and already becoming the person you've envisioned. That's right. Welcome back. Your future isn't something that you stumble into. It's something you create, one decision, one thought, one action at a time. So this week, I encourage you to ask yourself one simple question whenever you're faced with a decision. What would my future self choose? You might be surprised how quickly those small choices begin transforming your life. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to step into the next version of themselves as well. And if you like a free recording and some other gifts, then simply type the word mindful in the comments or private message me mindful and then follow the link, which I'll then put in. If you'd like to work one-on-one to rewire your mind even deeper, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out and email me at unwindthemindllc@gmail.com and or check out the website www.unwindthemind.com. Until then, trust the process, train your mind, and keep breathing into your power. And in the comments, I'd love to know what's one quality your future self already has that you are beginning to develop today. All right, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful Mindful Monday.